Are you a big fan of Groundhog Day, the movie?
Yes.
So you lived it out. Did you see the scores for the last 2 games?
Somebody said that. I think Josh said that to me on the radio when we got to the radio. He said it doesn't matter whether it's a beaver or a duck, it's the same score. Or something like that.
That hadn't happened here since the 40s, apparently. Since the 1940s,
Really?
Yeah.
Just so you're on the right side of it. I don't care what the score is.
How fun has this been for you? Just this, whether it be how the teams looked in close games or how the offense has flowed. It seems like, there have just been incremental improvements than what we've seen in maybe last month.
Yeah, well, definitely been improvements in a lot of areas. Your original question was how much fun has it been?
Just
well,
as far as the development and seeing them.
Look, I try to make it about the players and their development and all that, but losing for me makes me want to go take the 405 to the 5 and get down to the Coronado Bridge and jump. Like, that's how I feel after we lose. It's just, and maybe when that's over with and I'd like not to be that way and be mature enough to process it. But I think, I come in here, I'm trying to always be honest with you guys. Like, that's how physically ill it makes me feel. So yeah, it's a lot more fun because I don't contemplate those sort of things. But in all seriousness, for the players, it's more important. Because look, in all seriousness, I can process it. You got to get better. I've been doing this a long time. The sun don't shine on the same short, coaches. Every day. And you got to, if you're going to have a long career, there's ups and downs. Okay. Well, you look at Mike Krzyzewski 2 years after they won the title with Bobby Hurley. So everybody goes through things if you're going to have a long career. So, but for the players, it's tough. They're young kids. They haven't. Most of them haven't experienced public disdain or criticism, and been on that stage and been through something like that. So to see them play better and be able to laugh and have a good day, it's tremendous, because I know the pressures they go through. I have a lot of weaknesses in life, but I have a PhD in dealing with young athletes my entire life, being in a locker room with my dad since I was born, 52 years now of it, and knowing what they go through with their expectations, the expectations of others, and how real that is. It's extremely real. Mental health's now a big issue where it was never even talked about. A lot of that thanks to Kevin Love in the basketball world, and I know he's done stuff here for that. And he went through it. I remember how great he was coming out of high school and the expectations, and you think about everything he had to deal with. People think, well, it's easy. Look at them. They're on TV. It's not as easy as you think. So, yeah, it's been great to see them laugh and have some success. But I'll wrap that up with saying I emphasize little success. And, now how do we deal with a little bit of that? And maintaining focus and understanding that the hungry dog gets the bone. And maybe that's why we're having some success. We finally became hungry enough to fight for the bone in the alley, and be willing to get scratched and clawed to get the victory. So, that's a little bit of this week's message.
Lazar, last 6 games.
Dennis Rodman.
16.2 points, 7.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists.
Yeah.
43.8 from 3. What's happened?
Again, adjustment. Lazar in a totally new environment, and I probably didn't do a good enough job with him early on as far as getting him in a mindset of you got to be ready to shoot when you catch. That Jaime's not walking through that door. that we're going to have some production from, and you're the most veteran guy. You have the most probably minutes played of anybody on our team coming into this year in college basketball, which is hard to believe because he'd only played 2 years, but he did probably have the most minutes played of anybody on our team in college basketball coming in. So getting him to a comfort level, his work, it's not like he started working harder. The guy's a machine. I mean, his preparation is the best of any player I've ever coached, from his diet to his sleep regimen. I mean, ask him about it or his teammates about it. I mean, he literally tells guys, he walks in, lights out at certain times. I mean, his discipline's unreal. So it's not like he's always been that way. So I think a lot of it has been comfort level with him. And continue to work on his three-point. I will say he's worked harder on his three-point shooting since he's gotten here, for sure. We've tried to make some adjustments in his release. And maybe, and you can ask him, I think maybe the more confident and comfortable he's got with that probably helped him a lot.
Was this the player you thought you were getting the last 6 games?
I knew it was going to take some time to get him there. I mean, I thought development could get him there. But again, when you don't know as you're getting guys, you don't know until you get them, But like I said, when he first got here, I told you, his work ethic, the example that Lazarus sets for his teammates is unbelievable. So just, again, goes back to happy for him. Because I watch him put the work in, for sure. He puts in a lot of work. And, look, he might have thought that I'm going to have more help. When I get to UCLA, I'm not going to have, but, it's been good for him. It's probably forced him out of his comfort zone to have to, be a confident shooter and a guy that's really counted on. And it's made him a better player.
Coach, it's been more than 2 weeks since you've had to leave LA. How do you take this show on the road?
Yeah, I don't like to, just, to clarify that.
You won every game here?
I don't even like to leave to go on vacation unless I drive south. And I don't get past Jimmy Durante Boulevard. I don't like to, to get on planes. You live a place where everybody else vacations. I like the weather here. Things are good. So as far as you're alluding to, like where the game is, irrelevant to me.
Well, just in general, teams usually play better at home.
Oh, there's no question.
Now you're going on the road.
But I don't ever address it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we set a record in the Big East one time. I'm very proud of. We won 8 in a row on the road at Cincinnati. That was the 16-team Big East. And that'd be like climbing Mount Rushmore in one day barefoot. So I don't address it. I believe it's an excuse for the road team. We talk about what it takes to win. Understand that teams do play harder at home. Their girlfriend's probably at the game. So, it's not okay to lose just because you're on the road. That's as soft as mindset as you can have, and it's the opposite of everything I'm about. So I try to project preparation and toughness, eliminate where the game's at.
There's a professional.
But you're right, though, as far as
Yeah.
percentage of victory in college basketball.
When I cover the WNBA, Kurt Miller, the Spartans coach, often tells me that defense travels. Is that the way to win these games?
Well, I would tell you again, if you look back to, like college basketball, 75% of games are won by the home team. But if you were to look at road victories, very few of them would be because you went on the road and scored 80 points or more in somebody's gym. Really hard to do. Really, really hard to do.
Nick, you talked about age difference, your team compared to others. Stanford, they've got some grad seniors. I think
4 or 5.
Jones is in his 6th year, I think. And you've got some teenagers, and they're all 24.
But that's the whole season.
Sure.
Other than the Oregon State game.
How do you prepare? Do you do anything? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really talk about it. I like just in a general answer, I think part of our growth has been our guys getting used to playing against guys that have played 120 or more college games. Because I think that's more important than the actual age of a player. You know, a guy's got 120 plus college starts. You know, you have 10. So when I was building Cincinnati, Trace, so a long time ago, I inherited nobody. I had no Big East. My first team, nobody had started a Big East game. I had one player returning, a guy from the football team, my buddy Connor Barwin, and had the greatest line ever. He said, "Coach, I'm going to help you out, but next year I got to focus on football. You know, if you do your job, you won't need me." He was right, but he's a great guy. But anyway, Mike Bray used to always tell me that until you get a team that had, and he used to have a number for it, like a literal number, like you have to have almost 200 Big East starts on your team. And I may be wrong on the number because now I've lost the capacity to remember that far back. But he literally had a number, and his staff looked at, and so that was their way of determining experience. And he was right. You know, once I got my recruiting class, back then there was no portal now. So you had to get them, keep them, and get them to their junior year, basically. It was the only way you could get to that number is to start a bunch of juniors and seniors. And from that point on, we were in the NCAA tournament. So I think, it's more relevant, your experience level, than your age. Which is why Jaime, was able to transition to the NBA, because of his experience at the college level versus guys that virtually have none getting drafted all the time. So, Stanford's got a lot of experience.
They also shoot the ball really well.
Yeah, I think that's more important.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah,
their ability to shoot is impressive. 2 games in a row we're going to play a team that shoots over 40%, makes 10 a game in the Pac-12. I mean, that's a challenge because it puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
So how do you counteract that?
I'll reference back my buddy Mike Bray, who's living life in the NBA. Ritz-Carlton's, never touches his bags, stealing money. They used to have those kind of teams at Notre Dame. So don't give them the attempt. Because I call them the Jones brothers, although they're not. They need like a half a second to get the ball off. They both catch it high, shoot it high, which is, that's an NBA thing. And not even an NBA thing. I mean, very few guys in the NBA, catch it high, shoot it high is, really tough. And they do it. So can't give, you got to eliminate attempts. And if they take them, they got to literally, you got to make them take bad shots.
Can
Coach,
players help defense? I mean, not sagging out.
You got to be there on the catch.
Yeah.
You got to get back early, and you got to be ready. You got to get, a little bit different. But not getting beat off the dribble helps. Then nobody has to help. So they just, but teams that can shoot the ball. I always tell you guys this, when the ball goes in, all of a sudden all your plays work. You become a better coach. So, when you shoot the ball well, as they do, it gives you a lot of options. It's tough to defend teams like that. So, they put a lot of pressure on you defensively. But, Oregon does as well. They shoot the ball well. So, that's a big challenge when you face a team like that. But the answer to all your questions is you can't eliminate the attempt.
And then they go inside to Renault.
Yeah.
He's averaging double-double.
Yeah, he had 21 in the first half against Arizona. But he hit some threes the other day. He wasn't really shooting a three when we played him the first time. Lately, he shot the ball pretty well from the three-point line. He's a really, really tough guy to defend. in the low post because he scores with both hands. And he doesn't need, a lot of guys need to make power moves. Like he can literally score over you with post moves and array of shots. So he doesn't need to bang you out of the way. When you watch post play, that's what you see a lot of that. A guy needs to bang you and create his own angle. Reynaud doesn't need that. He can just score over you. He can get you here and just turn and flip it in on the other side.
So it might be a good matchup possibly for a die.
Got to get your hands up early on him. He sees your hands down. He can get you to move and put your. He'll just turn and flip it in over you. Very, very skilled player.
Coach, what do you think about Dylan Andrews being Pac-12?
I think it's great. Again, I think you become a better coach when you have a guy who wins Pac-12 Player of the Week. But PD player development. It is so important. It's been my whole career. You got to get guys that are good guys that'll work hard and listen, and you got to get them from people that don't think coaching is holding their players back, because that's an epidemic in basketball. You got to recruit kids and from families and coaches that believe in player development.
I know we're skipping one game ahead, but talk a little bit about Mark Madsen and the job he's done.
Well, I think the first thing, Mark has done a great job of. He did a great job in the transfer portal. Because look, coaching, he obviously can coach. I mean, look at it. He did a great job at Utah Valley. But he immediately got. Off the top of my head, I know he's got the 2 kids from Texas Tech and a guard from Northern Arizona. You got to have players. So he did a great, they were able to get guys in the portal. And I think, he's got, even early they had some, they could easily beat, probably could have lost 2 overtime games. I remember San Diego State down south somewhere to neutral, supposed to be neutral, but then at Butler. So, just he put the competitive spirit in him for sure.
Your threes have gone way up the last few games as well. Better ball movement, I'm assuming.
Again, better passing. Adem's been dominant when he plays one-on-ones, and he's, worked on his passing. And we work, every day on dealing with what teams are going to do against him in the low post. And I just think, our young guys on the perimeter that didn't play here last year, or they were on our bench last year, just got to keep working with them. And they've done a better job of knowing when you're open that your job's to shoot the ball. You can't hesitate. And you can't have fear of failure. We just worry about defense and effort. Focus on your work. Focus on your hustle. Don't focus on the result. But that's hard to do for a lot of young guys. They miss a couple and they don't want to shoot the next one. So we've grown a lot in that area in particular. Our perimeter guys have grown a lot. All right, guys.
Thank you.